Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to the voice of the times this Sunday, November 21, 2021. For today's editorial, online commerce requires added safeguards versus scams. By this time of the year, Filipinos are likely thinking about holiday shopping. And because purchases are increasingly transacted online, it seems timely to review the safeguards against digital fraud. Not only do they threaten to spoil Christmas in the short term, but they may also hamper the development of the Philippine digital economy. According to news reports, the COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated the digitalization of economies worldwide. This is also happening in the Philippines despite its slow internet connectivity and poor telecommunications infrastructure. The faster pace of digitalization here was corroborated during a forum organized by this newspaper, where the Truck Management Association reported an increase in commercial vehicle sales this year, attributed to growing online consumer purchases. Unfortunately, criminals are also shifting to digital. Early in March, government statements warned about cybercrime. One statement cited a survey by TransUnion, an American firm that has an office in the Philippines, where it claims to be the first comprehensive private credit bureau. A TransUnion survey showed that 44% of some 40,000 websites and apps surveyed had been targeted by digital fraud. TransUnion's website offers an update, reporting that digital fraud attempts fell 59.4% in the second quarter this year, compared to the same period in 2020. But some sectors reported sharp increases in digital fraud attempts, including gaming 51.4% and leisure and travel 198.5%. Review and update. Policymakers should review the e-commerce law known formally as Republic Act 8792. So much has happened since it was passed in 2000. Back then, it was portrayed as a forward-thinking legislation that would kick off a digital commerce revolution. Unfortunately, its provisions on consumer protection seem wanting. The section on consumer protection simply adopted the safeguards provided by an even older law, Republic Act 7394, or the Consumer Act. Its passage in 1992 was only a year before the World Wide Web became available to the public. Both laws need to be reviewed and updated to close the gaps being exploited by unscrupulous people. The private sector should also do more to safeguard the interests of their patrons. For instance, online shopping platforms allow merchants to use fictitious profiles. The merchant's anonymity acts as a barrier against consumers who might want to complain about wrongdoings to the authorities. The online shopping platforms do allow consumers to file complaints and feedback on their websites, but they should enable the public to take a legal recourse against shady merchants when warranted. This issue is related to cell phones, the device most Filipinos use to access everything online. Mobile phone users are familiar with spam messages, offering get-rich-quick opportunities and other rackets. Incidentally, we hope the authorities have enough safeguards to protect the personal data shared in contact tracing systems, both online and offline. Of course, scammers have many other means of accessing personal data, with so much of it shared on social media. Granted, some initiatives to address digital fraud have been suggested. A SIM card registry would be a good start. Another would be to mandate online shopping platforms to follow KYC or Know Your Customer practices, particularly for merchants selling on their websites. These shopping sites should also invest more in tools that keep fake goods off their platforms. If online shopping platforms cannot be stricter, lawmakers and regulators should add measures to compel them to adopt the safeguards needed to protect consumers better. We understand how some online shopping platforms may have been eager to sign up merchants to their system because that drives more visitors to their websites. They should realize, though, that their brand suffers when consumers are bilked or are disappointed. Being duped not only ruins Christmas but also dampens the outlook for 2022 and beyond. The Department of Information and Communications Technology website says the transition to the digital economy could mitigate the impact of the pandemic. The digital economy has the potential to raise 5 trillion pesos in economic value by 2030, or about 27% of this year's gross domestic product. Good policies will help realize that potential, but outdated laws and lax policies may deliver disappointment instead. And that's the editorial for Sunday, November 21, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to the Voice of the Times.